So I need the whole cabinet to be built. I need this whole thing to be 1.5 inches smaller. The drawers won't open, so I need to get in touch with the cabinet builder and let him know it needs to be 1.5 inches smaller ASAP before he digs into making this thing. I told him that yesterday. I said, you need to make it a lot less complicated. He got mad at me. He said, well, if you wanted it that way, then you should have told me, blah, blah, blah. And I said, excuse me, I did draw you a drawing. I'm paying you for your time and I deserve your respect. So please listen to me when I'm telling you what I want and listen to me. And if you have any questions, please come and talk to me. But he was not being very respectful. So had to tell him who's the boss. It's not even being bossy, it's just being a boss.
You should have a cup saying
yeah, boss. It doesn't say boss, but let's imagine it says boss. We can do After Effects on the mug that says boss.
What does a mom do when she wants things done right? She does it herself. My name's Rebekah. I'm turning this house into a home to give my daughter a brighter future. As a single mom, you get used to calling the shots. And you tend to be a little hands-on. That's why they call me DIY Mom.
Bye-bye, dusty attic. It's time to welcome in the sun.
But first things first, let's rip out these old railings.
Lee and Donnie are here from Do Art Hardwood to see the space and discuss my design ideas. I'm showing him my inspiration and hoping we can come up with a plan that will work for both of us. So this is the one that I took my inspiration from. And it's a little bit more daintier. Narrower.
Sleeker.
Yeah, it has more of a feminine look to it.
This part natural and these things black.
Is that the railings?
Oh yeah, that would be way too dark.
He may have already stained that, but I'll check with him.
Oh shoot.
That's okay, we can sand that off and redo it.
Oh, that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it is. It's okay though, we can make it happen.
Cool, I'm excited, it's gonna look good.
Easy peasy.
So on Monday I was away, I wasn't here when the railing guys came in and he cut into the floor to do the nosing, which you normally would, but didn't realize that my spruce flooring is actually the subfloor and there's no subfloor underneath it. Now we have this issue where the floor is sagging. Stuff like this happens when I'm not around. It also happens in an old house, in an old renovation. So people need to understand that you're not necessarily going to be able to do what you've always done before that's been successful in the past because you're working with an old house, you're working with old original flooring. It's not level, and so things need to be adapted to that. And there's lots of people that do a lot of new construction, they don't work with a lot of renovation, so when they get thrown into a situation where you have to adapt to make it work with the renovation, it's not necessarily comfortable. So I don't know if the railing guys are gonna quit on me or what, but they're coming back today at 4 to take a look at it, see if there's anything that can be done to save this project.
After some problem solving, we've come up with a plan to salvage the floors. Bunk Bed Joe to the rescue. By cutting the riser and installing a 4x6 under the lip, Joe was able to give the floors the support they needed. Now that the riser is back up and the nosing is installed, no one will ever even know that there was even a problem. It's time to get this reno back on track. Thankfully, Donnie from Do Art Hardwood has returned to finish the railings and move this train along. All aboard the Donnie Express, choo-choo! For all the dads out there watching, that joke's for you.
This railing turned out gorgeous. I'm really happy about seeing my vision come to life. Do Art Hardwood made the birch rail for me, and these are metal spindles in between. It has a really cool modern look to it, but it's also kind of that simple Scandinavian look that I love.
I've had enough construction for the day. I'd much rather get to decorating with my decals.
I've cut out all my rainbow decals from Canada Design. I'm organizing them based on their color and the thickness of the rainbow pieces so that I can have the varying ones piled and sorted so that as I go, the pattern stays kind of random and the rainbow changes each time so that they don't repeat with the exact same one. We've measured the space and the wall and how many decals we have to determine the proper spacing for the decals. I'm gonna get them all up on the wall, and then I'll have a step back, look at it, and decide if everything is where I want it to be, and then we'll make them permanent by securing them to the wall.
Today we are working on pillows for the playroom, and this is going to be a really fun opportunity to play around with all those colors and textures of fabrics that we picked up at Fabricville that we haven't yet incorporated into the design. I'm just making a lumbar pillow out of some of the scraps of fabric that I have, and I'm just playing around with the color blocking and some geometric shapes to make something fun.
Once you understand the fundamentals of sewing, it's pretty easy just to wing it when it comes to making a pillow. Since I've once again honed my sewing skills, I thought it was time for me to show Lennon how to sew just like my mom showed me.
She was very focused on pulling out the needles at the right time and following the line, and it's nice and straight, so I think she did a great job. Show them what you did. Show them what you did, what you made. You made that all by yourself. I guess she says it doesn't look like a purse, so.
Doesn't look like a purse.
I'm pretty sure that's a purse. The sewing I've been doing has brought me back to my childhood bedroom.
Yeah, I did a lot of sewing.
I just remember it was a very pink room.
It was very pink. And you like pink, don't you?
Yeah, I do. That must be where I get it from.
But remember,
And I had those little bunnies too, those paper mache bunnies.
yes, that's right.
Oh, I gotta show you my unicorn. I didn't show you that. Mom was the queen of the 80s home
The
decor.
queen of, yeah.
This was
80s,
one of my
90s.
bunnies that you had for me.
Well, that is probably close to 25 years old now. Could be.
I don't think you gave it to me when I was 13. No, I'd say this is 35 years old.
Oh, okay, all right.
Or
So-
like 30, over 30.
Yeah, it was
And I took them on the road with me with my
That's right, with your shell.
tour.
Your tour shell.
And then this is the unicorn I made
Oh, that is much nicer.
out of paper mache.
That is gorgeous.
Lennon thought there should be a big unicorn head.
Oh, we should
Come up with that.
Now I've been to many places and won so many races. I was a child, yeah. But now my only one is now.
Reminiscing with my mom about my childhood bedroom made me all the more eager to create similar memories for my daughter.
Now you have to help Mommy put all these decals up because it's going to take a long time to get all the decals up.
Okay, can I do them today with you? Get off.
That, right?
And then you pull it, push that. Whoa. That's cool.
When I was a kid, we had a chicken coop in our backyard that we used as a play sport. There was these boys that lived on our streets that would always scare us. I think one day they felt bad or something. They went in to our chicken coop and they wallpapered it for us. So one of the boys down the street, he used to chase me in a wolf mask. And one of my earliest memories is when I'm 3, running away from this boy in a wolf mask, just barely getting inside the door of my house and closing the screen glass door behind me, and then this wolf mask being like, rah, right on the screen. And then for years and years, I had night terrors where I would have these reoccurring nightmares that I was being chased by a wolf. And I only recently put it together that it was like my earliest memory of being chased by a boy in a wolf mask and these reoccurring nightmares that I had till I was like 12. That's what therapy will do for you.
We've come a long way since the beginning of this renovation. Problems are always bound to arise while renovating. However, nothing has been more of an ongoing issue than the construction of this radiator cover. What once started as a sweet dream for a simple piece of furniture has since become a reoccurring nightmare. The first cover had an issue with design. I had originally sketched a very simple outline that met my needs. The carpenter, however, had a plan of his own. He overcomplicated my design and built something completely different than what I asked for. It got a lot more complicated than what it needs to be, and the shelves are way too small for books. So I asked him if we could change up the design, and because it's made out of MDF, he said he has to completely build it all over again. When I received the second version of the cover, it was too big. The drawers on my cubby bed were unable to open due to the cover being in its way. I need this whole thing to be 1.5 inches smaller. An avoidable mistake that is now requiring additional time. So I need to get in touch with the cabinet builder and let him know it needs to be 1.5 inches smaller ASAP. Finally, on our third attempt, the radiator cover is complete. Therapy avoided. I can put that nightmare to rest. Now it's time to concentrate on what this whole debacle has been about. My centerpiece,
the cane webbed insert.
I ordered a beautiful piece of woven cane that is going to be stretched over a frame to go on top of the radiator as a cover. This is going to add a little bit of a furniture element to it, but also bringing in another natural texture into the room and space and have a nice design element. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this like a canvas and insert it into that space there to cover the radiator. I think it'll have a really cool effect. What I'm doing is I'm just spraying the cane with water as I wrap it, stretch it over it like a canvas. You kind of work from one side and the other side to pull it tight so that there's no puckering in the middle. Fasten the weaving to the frame. I'm so glad I have this automatic nail gun. I never knew how much I needed one. And I need to trim that back as well, so I'll just take a pair of scissors and cut that back.
It's done. Time to set it and forget it. Well, the ordeal maybe, but this radiator cover was definitely worth the hassle. Check that cane webbing out. And while you're at it, check out the next episode of DIY Mom as we wrap up this attic reno.